Hello, hello, hello. How are you this evening? Hope you are well. Welcome to another night. Hey, Maki. How are you? Good to see you. Oh, I'm good. Just enjoying being in the studio. Wheels fairly clean, I guess. It's a wee bit dirty, but I try to keep it pretty clean for the most part. It's unusual, yeah. Well, there's got to be a few unusual potters. Figure out a way to keep the wheel clean. I actually try to keep my studio fairly clean for the most part. It gets a little unruly when I have a lot of work going on, like big orders. But for the most part, I try to clean up all the time. Nice. I try to be a clean potter. I don't like dust, so I try to keep all the dust out of the studio if I can. I mop all the time. Try to keep the wheels clean. No need to have dust everywhere. Bad for you. Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah. It's fun. Sometimes I'll just sit here and be like, oh, and like do all sorts of fun stuff with the slip on the wheel. Hey, Mountain Mama. Hey, no worries. I'm going to make a few things tonight, Maki. I'm going to start with a little project that one of my students inspired me to work on, which is I'm going to do a sake set. And then and then I'm going to do a couple more platters. And then I have some bottles that I want to make that I'm going to turn into piggy banks. And maybe some other stuff. We'll see. See how long all that takes. S-A-K-E. Sake. Sake. It's a Japanese alcohol. It's a rice wine, basically. You know, anglicized. Yeah, it should be pronounced sake, but you know, it's probably not supposed to be sake in English either. It is what it is. It's supposed to be called what it's supposed to be called. I just did horrible American thing and called it whatever I wanted. Yeah. may shrink. It's not as big as it looks on camera, I don't think. I mean, it's about the size of my hand. I just wanted to thin it out a little bit. Hola, Zaro. Welcome, welcome. Good evening. Hope all is well. I'm doing well. Excited to try a new bat system. Nice. What kind did you get? I'm doing well. Thank you very much for asking. Excited to be making pottery. Self-designed. Usual ones don't fit your wheel head. Nice. Gotta love that artist's ingenuity. You gotta make what works for you. There you go. Oh, nice. It's a fun couple quick little marks. glad you were able to catch the stream last night. So that'll be, it just fits in the palm of your hand pretty good. Oh wow, graveyard shift tomorrow. Yowza. I'm just gonna make a couple cups to go with it. With the what's it called? The sake bottle. It's a set, so you get the bottle and the 4 little cups to go with it. Yeah, you guessed right. Just put a couple little marks on there. It gives it a little character. Some places for the glaze to fall. Yes, correct guess. For the cups, I'm using four ounces. Hey, El Miniator. How are you this evening? You have to translate that, yeah. Freedom units into whatever the rest of the world uses. I'm doing well, thank you so much. Can't be too bad when you're just making pots. It's calm and relaxing. $114 grams. It makes it sound like so much more. 4 ounces seems so small. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. I was gonna ask if the levels are good. Woohoo! You finally finished your pottery wheel body and electrical. Nice. Very good, very good. Grams are sweet in my world, yeah. I should learn all the conversions so that I can just say it when I know someone else is watching from a different country, because I get so used to everything that we use for measurements here that I forget what all of the conversions are. When I'm teaching, I'm always trying to tell people how much clay to use, and so most of the time I just tell them in grams and, ounces and pounds. Google's my friend, all fine, yeah. Miniature. Are you making your wheel, or are you building a studio and you just got your wheel in? Yeah, 72 kilograms and 160 pounds. Yes, and then that goes the other way, right? It makes it look like pounds is a lot more. Right? Yep. I'll convert everything I say to people here in America so that we get everyone using Google here instead of everywhere else in the world. We'll convert them one at a time. Start with me. Hey, Blake. You gutted a treadmill thinking a glaze mixer? Yeah? That's interesting. You built a pottery wheel, but you're also building a studio. Nice. Yeah, I love taking apart other machines and trying to turn them into stuff. My spray booth is the inside of an old dishwasher because it was a big square plastic basin basically. So I'm currently not using wet wall. I'm using fan and screen filter. And then I have a way that I can just kind of pose it down later and collect everything that's inside of it. You just noticed the water bucket and love it. Yep. you gotta take advantage of the the Easter stuff that's on sale right now. So they're the perfect buckets and they're super cheap this time of year. The little set I just made. Put the like a wave and a couple marks on it. So 2 of the cups have the wave and 2 of the cups have the slash marks. I don't know. I'm just playing with something different. I like to give the pieces a little bit of character, let the glaze kind of hold it up and give it some interesting variations. Alright, on to the bigger stuff. You use a lot of commercial ice cream tubs. Yeah, they're really good too. I use those as glazed buckets. Well, I used to. Now I'm using like they're actually in like 2 gallon. Here we go again. 2 gallons. 2 gallon buckets that are like food safe, but they were used for whatever from like a pizza shop. They had different things in them, and then I started getting them from the supplier. They're good size for small buckets of glaze. Alright. I didn't want a small bat, I want a big bat. I'm gonna do another platter. The 5-pound animal cracker containers are great. Just takes me a while to eat the crackers. Yeah. Yeah, you can get them from the ice cream shop for like 10 cents a piece. Nice. Yeah, I mean, they're just going to throw them away most of the time or recycle them. So might as well get a little money back, right? Hopefully they're recycling them. I'm going to get my fingers in there to get this out of there. It's going to be a tight one. Yeah, I like to use a lot of recycled stuff. I use the dry cleaners bags for covering up most of my work. You can get those, you know, from people who get a lot of dry cleaning done. You just say, hey, what do you do with your bags? And get a bunch of those for free. Okay. They don't recycle them, but they normally don't throw any away. That's good. They make a great tomato planter. Oh, this is about 8.5 pounds plate. It's hard to tell on camera. Sponge tried to run away. Not today, Sponge. It's you and me. This is gonna be a large platter. Oh, Sponge is running away again. Really wants to run. It's It's really more of a. The intention is that I'm making some wall art that could also stand or lay, depending, but ideally it will hang from the wall. It's basically a big plate. I kind of think of them as a naughty sponge. Yeah, I think of them as canvases, right? Like painters get their canvas, and so a big platter is kind of my big canvas. So it gives me a chance to play with the glazes and the way the shadows fall on it, and lots of different fun things. Now I've left it thick enough that I can get a good foot out of it for trimming so that I can hang it. And all. It all scales up. You just have to kind of take what you know and go up a little bit at a time if it's just about throwing large pieces. Is imagining what food would go in it nice. It changes as the shape changes. I like that. Like, what would go on this? Yeah. So like right now it's kind of like a big wide bowl. So definitely could have something that has a little bit more liquid in it. You love food, yes. Yes. Maki loves food. Blake thinks apples and grapes. Yeah. Nice. thanks for the resub, Mink Doll. Really appreciate it. Means a lot. Thank you. That'll do it. Nice big plate. Let's go. What's the size of this monster? Good question. Do you have Google ready? I've got a yardstick I gotta grab. Hold on. It doesn't have centimeters on it, so it's 14 and a half inches. You'll have to translate Google conversion. Just barely enough room to fit on the wheel. Yeah, the circle. Nice. Glad you like it. Yeah, I like to move a little quicker as I move out so that it kind of gives an expansion to the spiral. I know, inches. Well, you give me a hard time about weights. I want to make sure that... I know, it's just all fun. I'm just doing it. Alright, what's next? I think I'm going to do one more. I need another big bat. Those are too big. Let's see how this one fits. A little tight. I think one of my bat pins is a little larger than the others. recipe time. You had training in inches because of crafting. Nice. Whoop whoop. Where do you get inch training? It's a good question. Hey, Gru! I'm having a great day. How about yourself there, my friend? Almost done with work. Nice. That's a good feeling. Just need to upload a few things. Nice. Just gonna cone this one more time. This is also 8.5 pounds like the last one. Just want to make sure it's got it self-centered down in the base. Something big. I'm making more platters. I'm really into like making some wall art right now. And so I want to have a bunch to finish in different ways, and I've been experimenting, so I'm not sure if, how they're all going to come out. So I'm just having fun and seeing what happens. A little bit later after this, I'm going to start working on some piggy bank forms and maybe just a couple bottles in general. Seemed like people wanted to see me make some piggy banks, so I'll make some of those. And we can put all the fun little details on them next week. Yeah, I use incredible amounts of clay, never paid for the resources. Tell me about it. I spent 12 years experimenting with unlimited resources. I was getting paid to do it though. I was the head 3D technician for the university here locally, and I did that for a long time, so I was rebuilding kilns, doing any experiments I wanted, making all the glazes, testing any glaze I wanted. It was a lot of fun. You got paid to do it for a while after? Nice. Yeah, that's the best. That is the best. We had, when I started there, we were using everything. We were using like Raku, which was a 04, we were using Cone 6, and we were using Cone 10. And then as time went on, I tried to make it a little bit easier for the students, because people would put, first year students would put the Cone 6 glazes in the Cone 10 kiln, and it was hard to keep everything separated and labeled to an effect that people would actually pay attention to it. So I started taking a lot of the Cone 10 glazes that I had and reformulating them so that I could get them in a Cone 6 firing. So I got a lot of the colors back for the from the Cone 10 range, moved them down to Cone 6, and then I found other Cone 6 glazes that I could fire that would give me a similar look to what I was getting in the Cone 10 range. So we were still doing, I was still doing, the Cone 10 kiln that we were using was a gas kiln, and then we had a lot of electric kilns, but I was still doing reduction firings with a lot of the glazes that I reformulated down to 6. We were doing both reduction and oxidation, and I also had a soda kiln to play with. So I had glazes that were, I still had glazes that were primarily for reduction firing, and those were labeled as such, and they would just not look quite as nice in the oxidation firing, like Chinos and a lot of the copper reds. Wouldn't be quite as pretty, but we could still get the hey Gumby! I'm making another large canvas, a large plate type canvas. This one might end up being a little more like a large bowl, flat bottom bowl. Flat bottom bowl, you make the pottery wheel go round. Flat bottom bowl, you make the pottery wheel go round. Yeah, something like that, right? I like it. Alright. Just about there. Got the pad of clay about the thickness that I want for trimming. What's your best Tigger impression? That's poo. Oh, that was poo. Tigger, Tigger, Tigger. Oh, no, I can't do it. Can't do it right now. I used to be able to do a good Tigger impression, but I have to like hear it beforehand and then I can do it. I'm glad you like it, Zotto. Thank you so much. It was a view that I really wanted to have for the stream, so I'm glad I got it in. I kept playing with the camera over the first month or so that I was streaming, trying to get like something in between the two shots that I have right now, but there's nothing that really does the that does the same trick as just having those two shots. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like I have tiny little arms. Wait, if I stretch up, it looks like my hands are right there doing that. I've got tiny arms and big hands. Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah, I like how it looks, how it lines up. Somewhere in this range, it looks good, right? But the I like the sync for those two cameras. Couldn't quite figure out how to get this one to work. You have to like use both arms and to sync up the other camera. It just doesn't work. Hey, Lisa. Thanks so much. Glad to see you. Yeah, the weather is great today. Beats all that rain we had yesterday. But I'm not complaining. I enjoy the rain too. messing around with the textures in the plate. Gonna leave this for now. Got a bit of texture in the middle, but I can always play with the shape and the texture a little bit later of that interior space. I didn't know you're having issues, but I hope you feel better soon as well. All right, we're gonna do some bottles. The bottles are gonna be, yeah, that was another wall hanging, Lisa. I might do some other stuff to them, add things to them, scratch them up, decorate them, play with it. We'll see. They're fun to kind of play with. You have to treat it like a canvas. How much effort does it take to convert a cone 10 reduction to a cone 6 oxidation? But the food will splat on the ground. It can be taken off of the wall to be used. Some glazes are easier than others. The easiest thing to do is not go through the whole process of balancing the glaze atomically, and to just kind of increase the flux and see what happens. So if something has, say, Gerstley in it, just raise the Gerstley and see what happens to the glaze. After a few test firings, you'll start to notice whether or not the glaze is handling the lower firing, or if you've lowered the melting point too much, or if it's more of a cone 7 or 8 kind of range, which is fine. Yeah, I was actually firing to a pretty hard 7 in the reduction firing, just to kind of give it longer holds at the end for heat work. And so some of the glazes didn't even need too much fluxing down, but some of the glazes, like I had a nice spodumene glaze that needed to move down from cone 10 to cone 6, and it didn't flux the way we wanted it to, so we had to redo it atomically with the chemical weights to get it down into a balanced glaze to be functional at cone 6. I'm afraid that the one I want at cone 6 will not work because it's probably the reduction. It's the color change. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, if you have a glaze that works well in reduction, then you're really not going to get what you want in an oxidation firing, but you could do a cone 6 reduction. It is possible to reduce the glazes at its peak temperature. As soon as the glaze is liquid on the surface and you can start the reduction process, that chemical should change. So yeah, I can take a look at something if you send me the recipe, Groom, no problem. Zottel, the difference between a reduction and oxidation is a reduction is basically the lack of oxygen in a kiln. Typically, you can do that by adding some sort of combustible. So typically what I do is I use a gas kiln. So I'm firing actual fire through a burner into the kiln the whole time. And you use a chimney flue. So as the fire is circulating through the kiln, if you're not restricting the flow of air, then it's an oxidation firing. So you can, hey Gumby, thank you so much for the sub. Really appreciate it, my friend. And so you can, wow, for 3 months, thank you so much. Hey. So we've got the gas, or the flames are moving through the kiln, moving up the chimney flue, and as long as you're not restricting the flow of the air, then it's in an oxidation firing. So you can fire gas in oxidation. So that means your coppers are going to stay green, right? And then if you start to reduce the chimney flue at the peak temperature, what will happen is that copper is going to start to change, and you want to start kind of letting the kiln cool. And as you're cooling the kiln in that reduction, so there's more of the oxygen is being burned off because you're restricting the flow of the flame. So more of the oxygen is being burned off inside of the kiln, therefore it's creating what we call a reduction atmosphere, a reduction of the oxygen in the atmosphere. So the oxygen molecules are being sucked out of the glaze at this point, out of the clay. Hey Gru, thank you so much. That's amazing. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And wow, the support is awesome. Thank you so much. And so the chimney flue is restricting the gas, the piece is in reduction, and it starts to cool. If that glaze can start to solidify, so it's holding that reduction, then the chemical changes from the oxygen being pulled out of the glaze, so that oxygen molecule that stays in the copper that will I can change that. Thank you for letting me know. It's always you just have to tell me when the music is a little loud, because I can't tell. I get I can hear the music and I can hear the notifications, but I can't hear my voice, or else I'd be talking like a robot. Nice and slowly. Let me know if that works for you. All right, perfect. So the fire moving into the kiln is being burned off in the kiln, and it's going through the chimney flue. You restrict the flow of the gas moving out of the kiln, or the fire moving out of the kiln. It's burning up more of the oxygen in the kiln. It creates a reduction atmosphere. The glazes change because oxygen is being sucked out. The oxygen molecules are being removed from the different chemicals in the glazes. So what will happen, like with this copper example that I was talking about, like a copper green, copper is green in oxidation. So if you use like a copper glaze, like a Celadon using copper in an electric kiln, it will be a light green. But if you take that same glaze and you put it in a reduction firing, it could come out red, and with like flashes of green. It can be all sorts of fun stuff, but that's kind of the point of a gas kiln, is that you get that variance. So the primary thing between reduction and reduction and oxidation is that some kilns you can create a reduction atmosphere. Electric kilns that just have elements running throughout them, like big coils, those tend to not be able to get a reduction. Some people have built ways to get their electric kilns into a reduction, but a lot of the techniques that I've seen can be very damaging to the elements, because if you put a lot of carbon in around the elements, then they'll start to wear out faster, which kind of just brings it back to where like you should probably invest in some sort of actual kiln that you can just fire gas into. Yeah, electric doesn't burn the air, exactly, so you can't really get the oxygen out of the kiln, so you have to literally create some sort of fire. Yep. Hey, no problem. Hopefully it's kind of a lengthy conversation that you can have, but it's not too complicated of of a thing. You just kind of have to think about how an electric versus gas kiln can work, and the different thing. You can fire a gas kiln in oxidation, like I said, where you don't reduce it, you just fire it off and let it cool down. Then the pieces will come out in an oxidation firing, so all your coppers will continue to stay green. I think copper is one of the most fun metals to play with in the reduction firing. Depending on the chemistry of the glaze, you'll get all sorts of fun stuff happening. Hey Lisa, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it, everyone. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. It means a lot. Very interesting. Yeah, I think it's very interesting. Learning, I spent a lot of time firing those kilns, and I found it to be extremely... Hey, thank you for the bits, Gumby. Appreciate it. You have a Scut 1027 that you converted to propane. Only used it once, need to get back to the project. Yeah, I have an old kiln body that I have hooked up in my backyard that I want to put propane on. I have the burners. Hey Blake, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Hype train. Saddle Polly. Oh my gosh. Thank you all so much. We had the reduction firing hype train. The little fire emotes in that was perfect. I almost forgot what I was throwing. Thank you all so much. Hope you enjoy your no ghosting emotes. Oh my goodness. Gumby handed out 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much. Welcome in, Carrion Pottery, Elizabeth, Precalciments, Bump the Koala, Gretchel. Thank you all so much. Hope you enjoy your sub. Thank you, Gumby. Yeah, founder badges all around. That was amazing. Thank you. So the fun part about, oh my goodness, gonna be hitting up with some more bits. You're trying to get that hype train up there. Thank you so much. So the fun thing about the gas kilns that I used to have, we had a dang it, I have no more bits. You were so close. You did great, man. Thank you so much. Oh, grew through N25. Thank you. No worries, Gru. Thank you so much. Woo! Zottle threw in 100 bits. Hype! We did it! Level 3 completed! Thank you all so much. We boosted the hype. The reduction firing hype. What did I do wrong? I have no idea. I was gonna say, well, number one, I'm working on a bottle. You got more bits in. There you go. And then I was going to talk about the reduction firing. I had a kiln that I could fire that we used baking soda in. So we had a gas kiln. And at the top of the firing, we had... The door was like bricked up. Hey Blake, thank you so much for the cheer. Appreciate it. You got it. You figured it out. Perfect. So we had to, every time I fired this salt kiln, was so it's a salt kiln, except instead of using actual salt, we use baking soda. Hey, thank you so much. Got another gift sub in there. Thank you, Carrying Pottery. Hey, another bit. 500 more bits. My goodness. So much hype in the chat. So we have to brick up this whole door. Every time we wanted to fire the kiln, we'd have to brick it up. The kiln had an arch in it. So it was a nightmare keeping all the bricks. You'd have to keep all of the bricks organized. So I tried different things like labeling them with iron oxide and setting them to the side so we always had the specific bricks to fit in across the arch to close it up. And of course they would always get lost, or someone would come out and move the bricks around and then they'd get unorganized, so I'd always have to cut. Yeah, level 4 12 viewers is huge. Oh my gosh, thank you guys. Gumby! My goodness. Oh, we hit level 4. Hype! Fire it up! We got that hype train going to level 4. Boom chakalaka. Crazy stuff going on here, I know, right? Thanks so much, Gumby. You're amazing. Blake, everyone, Zottle, thank you so much for the bits. We hit level 4. So anyway, I get this job to brick up this kiln, and you have to. So when you load a salt kiln, you have to load in every shelf. We put a powder down on all the shelves. It's basically a kind of a resist. So you have to like dust all of the kiln shelves. All of the stilts have to be kiln washed. The dust that we put on it's aluminum hydrate or alumina hydrate, if anyone cares. But the so you have to go through all the trouble to load the kiln. It's a very special firing because the door, you break it up and you leave spaces in it, and you plug it with these big bricks. So you have the bricks coming through, so you can remove these bricks, and then you add Gumby giving out 5 more gift subs to Sarah 11 BPL. Thank you so much. And Cablano, Randy Rose 54, Killer Wolf 1028, and Little Chook. Thank you, Gumby, and I hope everyone who got their gift sub enjoys their time here. Hey, thank you for another 100 bits. Blake, really appreciate it. So we get we get the bricks spaces where we can pull it out, and we have this big giant 2 minutes left. Don't derail the hype train. So I have this long iron rod. It was about 6 feet long. And hey, Blake, cheered another 200 bits. Thank you so much. And we'd roll up these baking soda burritos, is what I called them. We would take it, and we would, thank you so much, Blake. And we would take the newspaper, we'd pour out a whole big thing of baking soda across it. Started pouring lines of baking soda in these pieces of newspaper, wrapping them up like little burritos, and then you dip them in water and you put them on the end of the iron rod. It had like a little V-shaped trough on it, and so you jam it in. So when the kiln is like at its peak temperature, I'm talking like 2,350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we would jam the thing full of baking soda burritos. So the baking soda goes in, and as it's falling to the bottom, Zottle, thank you. As it's falling through the kiln, it vaporizes, and the salt vaporizes, and it creates a glaze in the kiln, and it goes all over everything. That's why you have to dust the shelves and the kiln stilts and all of the precautions that you take to get everything put in there the way it is. And the results are really amazing. The coppers I was talking about would come out juicy with like spots, and it's like all sorts of crazy green and pink and red spots. If you ever get a chance to put some pieces or see some salt-fired pottery, it's a really, really amazing. Hey, Gummy gave out another tier 1 community sub to SAMMHC Samick, level 5 complete. Gumby, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Hit level 5. Level 5 hype! That's awesome, Gumby. Thank you so much. And everyone else who contributed, Zottle, Blake, thank you all so much. Unlocked more emote spaces. Heck yeah, we'll get some more fun emotes in there now. We received a level 5 hype train emote. Choo choo. Nice. Awesome. That's great. Choo choo. Nice shirt, yeah, right? That's what happens when you make mugs for breweries. You end up with brewery apparel. Gumby, I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. I have to go to the gallery again, and I totally spaced on getting the pictures. I thought about it so many times, and then I started teaching, and once I start teaching, I just kind of lose focus of everything else. And I forgot to take pictures of the mugs that I had at the gallery. But I'm gonna get you some pictures tomorrow some of the pieces I have over there. Yeah. I figured it was cool. I just wanted to let you know what was going on. As soon as I get there, I'm going to take the pictures. We need some Twitch lessons. I'll make a teacher teaching lesson one of the the point rewards. Like channel points for pottery lesson. All right. I got really distracted by Hype Train, which is awesome, so it's fine. But I almost didn't expand this bottle as far as I wanted it. So, I think I went over this. I'm making some forms for piggy banks, and well, you type in cheer and a number to cheer. Alright, figured it out. Nice. Gumby got in there with 11 gift subs. Thank you so much. Alright, so the thing I need, be right back. I'm not going anywhere. I've got this cork that I use for the stoppers from the piggy banks. And what I need to do is get the opening of this bottle down to the size of this cork. So what I do is I'm gonna use the opening here is gonna be the snout. Donuts for breakfast. Hello, how are you? Welcome to the channel. Hope all is well. So what I want to do is just get it so that the top, the widest part of this cork just fits inside the opening. And then I use the shrink rate of the clay. So this clay shrinks about 10% in the firing. And so the shrinkage of the clay will bring it down so that it fits snugly around the center of the cork. Pretty scientific. Then we'll get to, you have to kind of think about this thing sideways. So I'll turn it into a little piggy on the next stream. We'll get to put all the legs and the eyes. And then fun, I also like to play with the designs a lot. Sometimes I'll kind of make the pigs do cosplay, essentially. We'll turn them into pigs that look like unicorns, or I'm not trying to make them look like like unicorns. I want them to still look like the piggy banks, but I want them to look like piggy banks that are unicorns or ladybugs. So you can give them like the little ladybug doodle bobs and give them red and black spots. It's a lot of fun to play with the different designs. So I'm just going to kind of give you a preview of what happens, but typically I like to wait a little while to do this, but this piece will kind of sit a little bit like this, You're very curious, yes. And so it'll kind of sit on the board like this. It'll have eyes up here, the cork in the nose, little legs supporting it. So I'm not going to leave it like that right now, but just kind of show you what we're working towards. So we'll sculpt those up on the next stream. These bottles are going to need a little bit of time to dry. my friend. So that when you're firing gas kilns, it's amazing because they take a lot of energy to man the firing. Essentially, you have to kind of be there constantly, and so it's always a kind of fun day when you're like, all right, I'm firing the salt kiln today, and you spent the whole day bricking it up and getting it ready to go. You candle it, which is just kind of turning the pilot lights on overnight, getting it warmed up for the morning. It's like a long preheat. You go in the next day, and you're committed. You're like doing this thing, right? You're gonna turn the kiln on. You're gonna sit there for the next 20 hours or whatever firing. It's not always 20 hours, but sometimes it takes like a good 14 hours or so to get the kiln up to temperature, and then you gotta put it in reduction, let it start to cool down, and turn it off. But you're there for a good long time, so you get to hang out, chat, have good times. My good buddy, friend of mine, Thomas, who was going to the university, was there, and he was telling me about this teacher that he had in one of his other schools, and it was like Towson University or something. And the teacher thought it would be a good idea to cook a hot dog in the people. And so I was telling you about how hot this thing gets, right? It's like 2,350 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe higher. So he sticks the, just like how I'm vaporizing baking soda in the kiln, he sticks a damn hot dog in it, and the thing explodes right in his face. Oh my God. I've never tried this. I never would, but just the idea of it is insane. I don't know why anyone would do such a thing. Don't cook your food. Don't cook food in a kiln. That's that hot. I think he got some serious burns, but he was fine. I can't imagine he was too okay. But yeah, that story gets me, man. Instant explosive steam and toxic metals. I know, right? Oh, you think you would know better. So my story about firing a kiln is talking to someone about someone else's story about firing a kiln where they did something really stupid. But we had lots of fun days. A lot of the times I would set it up so that I could fire raku the whole time. Because our raku yard was like right beside the soda kiln. So I would just take a bunch of other pots to fire, and I'd fire off the raku kiln. And just spend the whole day firing. It was a lot of fun. We had a really interesting setup. We had our people learn different ways not to die as a goal. Yeah. Only for some is right, girl. Only for some. There's probably some people who are just like always on the verge of doing something stupid. That's like what I learned as a parent, is that you're like just constantly forcing yourself to save this little person from destroying themselves constantly. So I'm here trying to keep you from dying, and you keep doing all of these things. eternal child, the person who can't stop almost dying. It's a good description. Yeah, right. So our kiln yard, where we had the salt kiln and the raku kilns, we also had a foundry. So I used to help the sculpture perfect. Excuse me. I used to work with the sculpture department, and the professor liked to cast bronze and aluminum. So we had our foundry right there in the same area. And man, I've cast a bunch of bronze sculptures, and they're no joke. That gets hot. A pot of liquid metal makes pulling a piece out of a raku kiln look like an ice cube. Yeah, it was a really awesome creative space. We had a lot of different things that we could work on. The gas kiln that we had was also in a little building. There's a little building right behind where we had the foundry and the gas kilns. And in the building we had our Cone 10 gas kiln, where we would do our regular reduction firings. And that was also the space where we had our metal shop and our casting, everything for casting. So we had all of our refractories and all the welders were in there. There's a lot of fun things to do, and a lot of different fun projects. We had a whole room with our electric kilns, and in there we had just a wall of chemicals that I got to play with to make, all the different glazes that I could want. So I'd just be like, all right, what do I want to make? And I'd just find the recipe and throw it together and see what happens. You have poured aluminum in junior high, like 10 pounds of silver a couple years ago. Nice, Blake. Yeah, we poured some aluminum. That was all. I have not poured any silver, but the aluminum is a little bit of a lower firing than the bronze. You're a bit jealous, yeah. And the aluminum is fun. We used to do some like quick castings on aluminum, and you can take styrofoam and just sculpt styrofoam, and then bury it in sand. And just have the bottom of the styrofoam like right at the top of the sand, and all the sand's packed around it. So it's basically bury it in a bucket or a little sandbox. And then you just cast the aluminum right on top of the foam, and it burns the foam out and replaces it. You get some really crazy stuff. People do some similar things with like anthills and termite mounds and all sorts of stuff like that. But it's kind of like this replacement. Just like burning the foam out, filling up the void. Really interesting way to do it. And yes, lots of YouTube vids. Yeah, that's a lot of people got into casting like ant hills and stuff with aluminum. There's a lot of aluminum casting on YouTube, you're right. But we cast a lot of fun stuff. I made a few sculptures with this gentleman that went to different campuses around United States. Missouri State University was one of them. We had cast a full-size, life-size black bear, and I guess that was their mascot for the school, and it sits out front of their sports auditorium. And then we cast a small baby one that's like back in the area where all of the athletes run out so they can like touch it for good luck on the way to the game or whatever they're gonna play. And then we did a full-size Harriet Tubman that we made with students that sits on the campus currently at Salisbury University. Lots of other projects. So I like these to be kind of plump, but also a little bit like flat in the middle, so that I can kind of give it the shape of the piggy bank, where it can have the legs and all of the attachment pieces, and the bottom will be taken down pretty small and given a little tail. Dinner sounds good. Enjoy. Watermelon casting. I must have not caught the trend of watermelon casting. Alright, so just going to measure up this cork one more time. Alright, there we go. Yeah, this is going to be a bank as well, Sam. So for what I want to do is have a stream where I'm sculpting them and putting all the parts together, so we can kind of come up with different things together on stream. So like I said, I kind of turn them into like like pigs in costume, essentially. So we'll have people kind of throw different ideas out on what to make them, and then we'll try to make them look like that. So I think it'll be fun. So I'm gonna make a few of them to work on. Yeah. They're also various sizes, so they're kind of tiering up in scale a little bit too. So the first one, unicorn is a must. Yeah, definitely do a unicorn one. So I like to do the unicorns with I give them like wings too. So it has a kind of like a Pegasus unicorn. I guess if you like My Little Pony, they call them alicorns. So I have an 8-year-old daughter, so I have to know these things. Not that I didn't enjoy watching the My Little Pony with her. It was actually very enjoyable. All right, Maki. Have a great evening. Thank you so much. Have good sleep. We'll catch you next time. I've done little like hedgehog banks. So sometimes I'll choose different animals too, but if I'm gonna make one of the other kinds, I like to know that's what I'm gonna make. But I like the pigs in costume. I think that's a really funny way to do it. Yeah, so we do the alicorn pigs, piggy banks, and my wife has done a bunch of, when she glazes them, she'll put like rainbows on them. It's really fun. There should be some on the website, probably. Maybe not for sale, but in the gallery there should be some. I only have a couple, and I think I just took them to the gallery. 2020 was a hard year. I spent most of my time just making orders for wholesale, because I didn't have any shows and the galleries weren't open, so I didn't get to make a lot of new artwork. So now I'm getting a chance to play with a lot of the things that I didn't make last year, which is fun. Does anyone have any ideas for a different a pig in costume? Flying pig? Yeah. I made a pig, and I had an assistant at the time. It was a good friend of mine who was helping me in the studio, and her and my daughter put together a pig with aviator glasses and wings. It was really funny. Peter Porker, Spider-Man. It's hilarious. Peter Porker. I like that. Love the puns. You found a little piggy, nice. Pig in a blanket, that's a good one. That'd be fun to decorate. There's a couple banks that aren't pigs, but give him or her a binky, nice. Oh, with glasses? Hairy Pinky, yeah. You used to do bears and rabbits along with pigs? Nice. But yours were one and done type? Yeah. I've made some like groundhogs, which were pretty quick and easy to decorate. It's really just kind of applying a texture to the surface and then just giving them a cute little face. Scrapple bank. Goodness gracious. we did a duck bank that you put the money in its beak and the cork is in its butt. So you like feed it the money. Or just do the shake thing. The duck is, yeah, oh, it has a surprised look. Yeah, it's like its eyes are different sizes and its pupils are like, oh, it's a funny looking duck. It's hilarious. We have a wildfowl museum near us. It's like a carving museum for. I guess the art kind of started as decoys, but now it's just like amazing sculptures essentially. And the museum carries some of my work, and the piggy banks do really well there. The different animal banks. One with the hat, yeah. Witch's broom with the hat, nice. Yeah, I like the witch one. That's a good one. You do like the pointy hat. It was like, I'm imagining it as a green pig with a black hat. Flower power piggy, nice. I like that one too. Oh, I'm coming to sleep soon. Your mind is running wild now, yeah. I like it. Yeah, I would do like a green glaze, and then get the hat black, and maybe get the broom different colors, and so you have to make them. Yeah, crispy bacon, crispy bacon. If I owned a pig, I would probably name it something like that. For a long time, I used to name my chickens after food, which is kind of sad, but it's funny. I used to have, and I still have a sausage. One of my chickens' name is Sausage. But the first run had lots of fun names. Our friend gives them all sorts of fun names like Jalfrezi and dumplings. Crispy bacon. Yeah, of course. Oh God, that's avian flu. Oh no. I don't know about that one, Crew. We have to avoid the illnesses. Too dark. Yeah, it's like too soon, Gru. Too soon. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Too soon. No, it's cool. I think it's funny, but it's a round one. This will be a plump pig. Plump one. Just the right time. Yeah, just the right time, exactly. Not too soon. It's just the right time. Alright. Piggy bodies! Crispy bacon. How about Dos Equis? The other beer. Oh, poor Corona beer. The fun thing about the pigs, like, even though you put them in the luau, yeah, even though you do the different costumes, you still give them like the pig ears, the piggy tail, all the stuff that makes them pigs, and then that's what makes it really funny. Banking on bacon. A Rusnar piggy. A set of two pigs making bacon. God. An eye patch and a pirate hat. I like that one. Pirate pig. Yeah, I like the pirate one. The set of two pigs making bacon is like your vacation fund piggy bank, right? I need to get away. This will remind me of that. Bikini on its back. Fried bacon. Snorkel and a mask. Nice. Police hat and a badge. Yep. We'll need a superhero one. It can have like a eye mask and a cape. And the shell in the ear, yeah. One with a frog. Not as a frog? Miss Piggy, yep. Have long, luscious locks of hair. Poro, defender of the piggles. Piggies. Oh, Kirby. Yeah, I like the Hawaiian pig, the like a lei, and could have a flower behind its ear, or the seashells, and ooh, butterfly piggy. Yeah, that's a good one. What is symbiosis? Yeah, a ring of pineapple. Yeah. Ouch. Yeah. Pineapple on a thick glossy glaze. Oh, peppercorn stud all over it. Oh my goodness. Do like the mermaid pig. Space pig. Then you have to decide if it's an astronaut or an alien. Or you can do both, right? Of the portraits and the shaping process. My little rainbow piggy, yep. Space pig! You love the space pig? Nice. To infinity and beyond! Yeah, I like that one. Alright, Space Pig is a hit. I like that one. Make it so, yes. Trek Pig? Oh, that's a good idea. The red shirt? You like the red shirt ones? Which rank was red shirt? Poor red shirt. Yeah. Didn't the like different color shirts mean different things? Like what part of the ship you worked in? Will it have a helmet? Yeah, right. Maybe the astronaut or Buzz Lightyear / Space Pig might have a helmet. I don't know how you put a helmet over it though. That would be like, it'd be better if it was like form-fitting almost. Originally it was security and they always died on the away missions. Yeah, red shirt was bad. Next gen it meant you were an officer. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. In the next gen, I remember like the red shirts were officers. Yeah. In the original, they always died. Oh god. Security went yellow. Yeah, and the blue was like engineering or something. Yeah, their security was always dead. Yeah, I know. And there's the expendable character for this episode. Science is blue. Okay, cool. Galaxy Quest was an awesome spoof. Yeah, yeah. That was hilarious. Yeah, good cast on that show. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Alan Rickman was great. No, that's so you don't have a good night. Night crew. So long and thanks for all the fish, my friend. What he said, have to get some sleep, have a good night, and have fun. Oh, thank you so much, Saddle. Have a great evening. Oh, yeah, great. Perfect. Thanks, Gru. Yes, 42. Thank you both so much. Have a great evening. Really appreciate it. Thanks again for the hype train earlier. All the bits and the subs. Really appreciate it. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the piggies. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll try to do it next Thursday so that everyone that was here tonight can get a chance to see it. I'll probably work on finishing some of the platters on next Wednesday. We'll do the piggies on Thursday. Yeah. Glad I made a lot of these bottles to throw tonight because we have so many good ideas. Good seeing you all, the pork and the pottery. Yeah, yep. Make sure the shape is good. Trim a little off the top. Oop. There you go. Alright. Just make sure this cork fits. There we go. That'll do it. Trim up the bottom. Got another one. This is the last big pig that I had wedged up for the night. Represent that remark. Top pig. Numero uno piggy. Just trying to think of different ways to say big pig. Is that a yarn bowl? No, this is yeah, it's a pig. It's the piggy. I carved up a couple of yarn bowls last night, Gumby. I've actually got them sitting up on the shelf right now. I didn't quite finish cleaning them up 100% yet. Oh, you did? Yeah. I was just cutting the we call it the spiral of death. It's cutting the spirals of death. The parts that destroy the structural integrity of the bowl. You don't like the spiral at all? Yeah? Do you knit or crochet? Maybe a line straight down with like a small circle? Yeah, that makes sense. You do both? Nice. Yeah, a line straight down with the circle would be like way better for the bowl too. I did I came up with like a design that I hadn't really seen. It's like a sideways spiral. It's more like a wave. And it moves the moves the yarn through the piece and it still kind of catches, except there's less small bits that can break off. So there's primarily just like two spots where it can get kind of funky. Hey, I can make you one with a line straight down and a circle at the bottom. You let me know if that's what you want. But I'll show you what these look like in a minute. Friend made you a huge yarn bowl, but it looks really flimsy, like it'll break, so I don't move it. Oh, that's a shame. I try to make mine real sturdy. I actually throw them a lot thicker than I would throw a normal piece, just so it has a bit of heft. So it sits where you put it. I herniated my L4, L5 15 years ago. And I took up knitting when I couldn't really move around really well. It was something I could do to sit there and keep myself busy. Yeah, and I had slabs where I cut it. Yeah, it's very, very solid. And I really enjoyed it, but because I did it, I was able to kind of experience what it was like to have the ball of yarn roll all over the place. So when I'm making my yarn bowls, I kind of think about that, and I want it to just sit, not move, not get dragged around, have space for the whatever yarn I have in there to roll around, so it's like caught but not too tight. You usually knit beanies? Nice. That's awesome. You're expecting a huge box of high-end yarns this weekend. Nice. Wolf fur, rabbit fur. Yeah, that's all sorts of cool stuff. Nice. I bet that's gonna make some warm duds. Really nice beanies. Nice. I have to check them out. Do you have them somewhere that I can look at, Gumpy? What, I was looking that way. I said, do you have someplace I can look at the beanies? Nice, I'll check it out. I'm pretty sure I saw your Instagram already, but I must have missed the beanies. I don't know. I get very distracted on social media. Same, yeah, right. All right, I'll grab the yarn bowl down here. I need a board. Here we go. So I put this like swirly spiral in it. Yeah, they're huge too, for sure. So that's what I was saying when when I was knitting. Like, I wanted space for the yarn to like roll around in, and then this design only leaves this little bit of clay that's kind of being held on by this thick piece of clay here, and this is double thickness. So I added a big pad of clay to the front where I did the carving, so everything in here is like extra thick. And then this is the only other part that gets kind of thin right through here. And so I just add a lot of clay to those areas to help support that space, so you can kind of see how nice and thick. And like I said, they're big, thick, heavy pieces, so nothing to worry about with them. Your yarn winder makes huge yarn balls. Nice. Yeah, I like the nice big yarn bowls. So I still need to go over these and kind of wipe them up to get any little sharp edges that might have been left over. I go over them a lot of times to make sure there's no little burrs or anything on them, because I don't want the yarn to catch on any part of it. So I try to So that's the only thing I have left really is just like going over it 50 times trying to smooth everything over. But yeah, they're fun to make. Nice big yarn bowls. I can't even help myself. I like look at these things and I'm like, I gotta start smoothing. It's gotta be perfect. The yarn will catch on anything. Sometimes you can't even tell that it's gonna be there, and then you have to go over it with a little bit of sandpaper. I use a grinding block, like what you use to sand down drywall before painting. So it's like wet sanding, so I don't put dust in the air. But you can like take strips of that and like wet it and run it through there and clean it all up. Alright, I could do this for more time than I need to. Yeah, but I think it kind of looks like a wave. I even put like a little indentation underneath this area, so it's kind of wavy. Blake, are you still there? Yeah, are you streaming tonight? Yeah, 20 minutes? Cool. So last night I was like, I ended my stream a little early and then I saw you went live right afterwards. I was going to raid over to you. If you're going to be on, I'll send everyone your way. Cool. Yeah, go get set up. I'll stop by your stream when I get done. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the bits and the subs tonight. Appreciate it. Hey, hey, sweet. Thank goodness. That thing's been giving me all sorts of trouble today. Glad you got it going. My mama's been making masks all day. And, well, trying to. Dang, sewing machine's been a pain in the butt. But it's good that it's going. Yeah, walking away helps. Walk away, come back later. Balance your energy. You made hundreds of masks. You hate making them? Yeah. I could see that. She's only made ours for the most part, so I think if it weren't for the the sewing machine giving her a hard time, she'd be fine. You gave some away to friends and family. And at the beginning of all the pandemic stuff, you loaned your machines out to someone who was using them. Well, that happened. They don't all survive. I'm hitting the fatigue level. made $1,000 in the first 2 months just off masks? That's insane. It was a good time for that, though. I mean, everyone needed them. Okay. Yeah. You made 1,000 masks and then your machine broke. That's crazy. Yeah. I can imagine that. 1,000 masks in your machine. Yeah. I guess there's a lifespan on everything, right? The motor is like, I can't do this anymore. Wasn't a good machine to begin with. Yeah, we kind of went through the trials of fighting bad sewing machines. Well, my wife did. I had to hear the aftermath of this stupid machine. They are definitely not all made equal, that's for sure. You broke down and went to a sewing machine store? Yeah. And now you have the Ferrari of sewing machines. Nice. They're like, could I interest you in taking this one for a test drive? Like upselling you at the sewing machine dealership. It's exactly how it went down here. That's funny. She was like, sit down, step on the pedals. Yeah, right. You hear how this one purrs when it's going? What's the 0 to 60 on your sewing machine? It purred when it was making eyelets. Nice. Nice. I want a cheaper but faster sewing machine, yeah. I'd imagine you need more than one anyway, or more than a couple if you're doing a lot of stuff with them. As they all have different uses or reasons you would want to use one over the other. You have 4 already. You and I grew up. Yeah. Oh, into surgery, yep. Yeah, my wife's been fighting the surgery all day. Something happened with the threading of it. Yeah. It's like set it and forget it. Yeah, pictures of it so in case it gets moved you can reset it. That's a good idea. I do that with a lot of a lot of my music equipment or my audio equipment. I set all the knobs and then I'll take a photograph of it and then be like, all right, if this ever moves I know how to set it again. Well, yeah, brilliant, yeah. If you ever figure out what the settings are, you write them on it, yeah, right? Alright, everyone. I am done for the evening. Thank you all so much for all of the fun this evening. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And thank you so much, Gumby, for all the gift subs and the bits this evening. Thank you everyone else who's still here with us, who subbed and gifted subs and did the bits. Thank you all so much. Yeah, hit that level 5 hype train. Thank you all so much. Amazing, amazing. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to send you all over to our friend Blake. He should be streaming here in a bit. So again, thank you so much. Next week we'll do some sculpting on the piggy banks, and I'll probably do some trimming on Wednesday of the platters that I've made this week. We'll just do a bunch of finishing work. We'll get it all set up, and then we'll have a bunch of fun coming up with some piggy characters. And maybe I'll make some more bottles, and then we'll see if we have enough to get through some of those. We had lots of ideas, so it'll be fun. All right. I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you so much. Gumby, I'll hit you up. Woohoo! I'll see you all soon. Thanks. Good night.
like that white background, man. Get that background right. Um, pull this way a little bit more. Hey, thanks for the raid, Robbie. It is Robbie, right?